This video is about making conversions from one unit to another, and it doesn't matter what unit you're starting with or what unit you're ending with. This method is called by a few names. One of the common names is dimensional analysis, which is the name that I learned it with, or the unit fraction method, which is the name that I use most often. Unit fraction means a fraction that has a value of 1. So the same worth on top and on the bottom. To do this, you just need to know the conversion factor. How many x per y? So that could be how many cups in a gallon. It could be how many feet in a meter. It could be how many centimeters in an inch, or any other units that you're trying to convert. You just need to know the conversion factor between them. And if you don't know that in one step, we can do it in more than one step. Let's see. Let's do some examples. I think that's the best way. So for a one-step conversion, that's where you know the factor that with the beginning and the end equivalent. So say we have feet and inches. You've got 3 feet and you want to convert to inches. So to convert 3 feet to inches, you need to know the conversion factor. The conversion factor is that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Just the same, 12 inches is a length and 1 foot is a length. So you could write it as 1 foot and 12 inches. That's okay too. Sometimes you'll need to write it this way, and sometimes you'll need to write it the other way. So if I take 3 feet and I want to go to inches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my first quantity that I know with the unit, and I'm going to multiply by a fraction. That fraction has the same worth on the top and the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up so that if I have feet here, I'll want to cancel out the feet. The whole plan is that I should be able to do that. Get rid of it, it's gone, I don't want it anymore. And what I would like to do is replace that with the unit inch. So if I know my unit conversion factor, then I know that 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. So I would do 3 times 12 over 1, or just 3 times 12, and I would get 36 inches. If we wanted to do a different kind of conversion, if we had, I don't know, let's pick 474 milliliters, and I wanted it to go to cups. I would look up a conversion factor, and in a conversion factor, I would just have to look it up, and I would find that 1 cup is the same as 237 milliliters. Either you've memorized that or you haven't. Either way, it's fair to look it up. Similarly, it could be the other way around. We could write top on bottom, doesn't matter, because it's the same worth, the same amount, same volume there and same volume there. It doesn't matter which one's on the top. It'll matter in a moment when I write out my initial number and I multiply by a fraction. Here is where I choose. I want milliliters here to be canceled out, so I'm going to cancel like that. So that means that I need to write my cups on the top and milliliters on the bottom. So I have 474 milliliters times 1 over 237. And 474 times 1 over 237, you can do as a fraction. No problem there. Or you can do it as 474 times 1 and then divide by 237. Either way, you get 2. And the only unit remaining is cups. So for these ones, the key is you need to know a factor where the top and the bottom are in different units, but they have the same meaning. That same meaning could be that there's like 2.2 pounds and 1 kilogram. Same amount of stuff, at least here on Earth's gravity. Or it could be like 1 milliliter and 1 cubic centimeter. They are the same volume. Or it could be any other fraction where the top, 16 cups, is the same volume, 1 gallon. As long as it's the exact same value and you could replace one with the other with no loss in stuff or no loss in meaning, then it's okay to use it as a conversion factor. We'll do one that doesn't happen nicely in one step, but that takes more. Let's say we have a length, and that length is in, I'm going to do this in a ridiculous way just to show you that we can do multi steps. That length is in centimeters. So you've got a length in centimeters, and your length is 372 centimeters, and you want to convert it to meters. The obvious thing to do is just look at your metric prefixes, realize that's a factor of 100 and it's 3.72 meters. But we're not going to do the obvious way or the easy way. We're going to do another way. We're going to go through as many intermediate steps as possible just to show you that the intermediate steps are not a hassle. They should get us the same answer. So if we take our factor of our initial number of 372 centimeters, and I multiply by a fraction. So I said the easiest thing to do, the smart thing to do, would be to cancel out centimeters and go to meters. That's what you should do, right? And you would just write in that there's 1 meter and 100 centimeters. You'd be dividing by 100. We're not going to do that. Even though it's the right thing to do and the smart thing to do, we'll do something else. We'll convert to inches first. So let's say we're going to get rid of centimeters and go to inches. Why would we do this? Just to show that we can do lots of steps like this. So 1 inch is the same as 2.54 centimeters. That's going to be our conversion factor, which we would look up. When we do this, we realize centimeters and centimeters will cancel and we're left with inches. Okay, so now we want to do another unit fraction to get us back towards where we're trying to actually get to. So I want to get rid of inches, and maybe I want to replace it with feet. Okay, I know that if I have 1 foot, that's 12 inches. We used that in a previous example, I think, just on the top of the page there. So inches can cancel with inches. Maybe I'll do that in a separate color just so we color code. Inches and inches can cancel. And then maybe I want to go to meters from there. Maybe just 3 steps is enough. So I would want to cancel feet. So feet and feet can cancel. And I would need a conversion factor that shows me between feet and meters. I can look this up, and I can say, all right, 1 foot is the same as 0.3048 meters. Sure. Now I look at my units. Centimeters canceled, inches canceled, feet canceled. The only unit remaining is meters. That's good. And now all I have to do is take 372 and multiply it by all the numbers on top. So 1 and 1 gets me nowhere, but multiply by 0.3048. And then divide by all the ones on the bottom. So divide by 2.54 and divide by 12. So I'm going to write this out the way that I would write it. 372 times 1, which, I mean, whatever, but I'll put them in there, times 0.3048. And on the bottom, I've got 2.54, I've got 12, and I've got 1. Maybe I'll multiply in the same style, 12 and 1. So when I do this, I end up with 3.72, which, I mean, we knew that was going to be the answer all along. For these unit fractions, that's the whole of it. Find some fraction where the top and the bottom have the same worth, arrange them so that you can cancel out the unit you don't want, and put in the unit you do want. You can do that. You can string together 100 of these. You can use 1. Doesn't matter how many you do, it's the exact same procedure. It doesn't matter what units you're using, whether you're in chemistry or physics or math or anything. It's all the same. We'll do more examples in class.